This week on Talk of the Town, we talk to the brave firefighters who saved the life of a Hyrum woman. Due to their quick action, she has made a full recovery and is able to enjoy the holidays with her family. The turkey trot was a success, and there's still time to get a fresh turkey at the county auction. Black Friday shopping is next, and Once Returned has you covered. They're our business spotlight. Don't miss the fun and games segment with the Bear River boys basketball team, thanks to the grill. And also hear what Coach Reggie Shaw has to say about this year's team. First off, I just want to start by telling you all thank you so much for taking the time to be here tonight, especially you, Cynthia, making the drive over from Hyrum to tell this story.
Yeah.
As we've been putting together some stories for this month, we wanted to do something that focused on thankfulness and Thanksgiving, and we just felt this was the perfect story to be able to express that, because I'm sure you have immense gratitude for these men, as we all do here in Tremonton.
Yeah, I do.
Happened at the end of September, and we're just going to kind of talk about how that morning ended up turning out. And so tell us, why were you in Tremonton and what happened?
I had got a call from my daughter, and she was having a little bit of problems with food. And I had seen on Facebook the Tremonton cereal cell. And so I was on my way to Tremonton to that cell early in the morning to get there as early as I could. And then it falls to these boys.
So do you really remember anything from before the accident occurred?
I only remember a dark, shiny road, and then I don't remember anything.
And so you ended up in the canal by Tanglewood Studios. You were submerged and unable to get out of your vehicle, obviously. And Jimmy Munns, you had heard the page.
I was headed to work at Northrop, and my phone buzzed, and I can tell that it's a call for Tremonton Fire Department by the way it buzzed. But I was obviously driving, so I didn't even look at it, didn't know. So I was just on my way to work, and closer as I got to the wreck, I was like, what are those tail lights, headlights? That's not normal. Maybe this is it. And I pull up, and I was like, I can see the truck on its side in the canal. So I just pulled over, and there's a gentleman standing on the truck, and I just jumped out and says, is somebody in there? And he says, yeah, we think so. And so I ran over and says, I'm a fireman, here's my phone, and I jumped in. And obviously I got down in the water and could tell that she was down in there. So I was just processing everything through my head and trying to figure a way to get her out. I felt for a pulse, there's no pulse. So got my pocket knife out, cut the seatbelt 2 places because I knew I'd have to. And I was able to get her up out of the water. And then as soon as I got her up out of the water, checked for pulled skin for sure she didn't have one. And then another first responder showed up at that point. So then me and him made a game plan to get her up out of the truck. Time stands still when that kind of stuff happens.
Do you feel like the process was moving slow or fast, or just kind of take me through that? And you said you had a pocket knife. Is that something you always have on you?
Yeah, I feel naked without a pocket knife. I always have a pocket knife. Yeah, I've always had a pocket knife. Like I say, you think it's taken forever, and it's like, oh my gosh, I've got to do faster, go faster. But in reality, it's seconds are just happening,
It was fast. You had her out quick.
Yeah, I was driving out there. It took me 3 to 4 minutes to drive out there because I didn't know where the wreck was. So I just put it on cruise control and was driving to work, and then come upon it, and I jumped in, did my thing. Me and Josh, other first responder, got her out, and I'm obviously not aware of all of my surroundings. I'm in my bubble, doing my thing. And Josh showed up. Okay, awesome. I know he knows what's going on. Me and him can work together. Got her out, got her to the shore, and the second we hit the shore, there was a police officer there, and Carl grabbed her, pulled her up on shore, and started CPR right there on the spot.
So what was that reaction for you, that relief to see that back up so quickly? It's
nice, because I can remember going through my mind, what do I got to do? What do I got to do? Because I obviously knew somebody was going to show up eventually, but like I say, time stands still, and you just don't know where they're at, who's coming, whatever. I do distinctly remember when I got her up out of the water, the door was crunching open and some glass come on me. And I looked up and it was one of the highway patrolmen was there. So that was nice to know that he was there. And if I did need help, that he would be there to help. And Josh was there, and we had made a game plan and to get her out. But it was nice to get her out. And then I was just how I am and who I am. Sorry. I wasn't getting out till I checked again for somebody else. So it was nice to see the officer and Carl there and Josh. Once I got her out of the truck, they took that so I could go back. Because if you don't, you're going to always second guess yourselves in our line of work. How many times all of us have been on a wreck and they're like, you see a car seat, so the first thing you do is start looking for a baby or something, you know. So I had to do that for my own
well-being.
Yeah, thank you. I had to go back. So I saw them grab her, get her to the shore. So then I stayed in the truck and checked to make sure nobody else was in there. And nobody was. So then I jumped out, helped her get her on the cot.
And out of you guys, how did the process kind of go after that? How did you guys work together to make sure she was going to be okay?
Carl and I were in the ambulance. I was driving. Dispatch information was that there was a car in the canal and there was possibly somebody trapped. So we started emptying our pockets because we thought we were going swimming. Throw our phones out our ways, all that kind of stuff. Where I was driving, I positioned the ambulance. Carl jumped out right away and went and helped the patient. I got the cot out, got everything over to her, so we got her on the backboard and got her on the cot, and then into the back of the ambulance where we were able to do a better assessment at that point in our more controlled environment.
And so just kind of take me through that process too of I know you guys did a lot of work to make sure she could start breathing again. What's kind of the reaction or emotions that go through your guys' minds, or do you kind of have to just stay, kind of solid and not think about those things?
So like Nate had said, en route, we kind of knew we were coming to a car in the canal. So me and him started talking back and forth okay, what are we doing? We started emptying pockets. We started going through scenarios in our heads, talking them out to each other. What are we doing in this case? What are we doing with this case? Just kind of trying to picture what's going on, because we have the dispatch notes, but the dispatch notes paint a very faint picture of what we're looking at. Sometimes when we get to the scene, the dispatch notes are completely, they're getting what they're getting from the bystanders that call 911, and it's a complete different story when we get there. This one was painted fairly clear. Like Jimmy was saying, I was going in the canal. I was getting ready to jump in, and one of our Tremonton police officers stopped me and said, I'll go in, you stay on shore, I need you dry. At that point in time, he got with Josh. They got her to the shoreline. I grabbed a hold of her. With their help, we got her up on shore, and I immediately started chest compressions because I heard Jimmy yell that she had no pulse. So I immediately started chest compressions. They had got out of the water. The Tremonton police officer was standing right there. I believe Josh was right there. And at that time, Nate had the cot right behind me. And this was a situation to where it was a load and go. So while I'm doing chest compressions, these guys are lifting her, getting her on the cot. I continued chest compressions until we got her in the back of the ambulance. And then we have a machine. It's a Lucas, but it's not a Lucas. It's a defib tech. It's a machine that does CPR for us. They had started getting that ready. Once we got that in place and they started doing their thing, I jumped in the driver's seat and I was the driver to the hospital.
And do you guys have any idea, from start to finish, how fast you were able to get her to the hospital?
If you drive the speed limit, it's 5 minutes.
Is driving the speed limit?
Speed limit. So.
Yeah,
Lights
on
on.
record, yeah.
And then Mark and Andy, were you guys also involved?
Yeah. We were in the rescue. Andy was being the driver and I was being the captain on the rescue. We both got out, met at the ambulance. They were getting her loaded in, so we just both piled in also. I took care of airway management because of my, former background. Had to put a airway tube into her, and was bagging her. And luckily, your pulse came back. We didn't have to compress you on the chest. Carl did a good job.
Carl did a wonderful job. My ribs and sternum still hurt.
Still bruised. But, you know, like everybody's saying, all of our training kicks in. It's just, you know, we know what we need to do and how to do it, and we want to do it as effectively and succinctly as possible to get the best outcome. And
here's the outcome. And I'm thankful to be alive.
I mean, a lot of us have been on multiple accidents where the outcome wasn't as best. And so this is an honor to be able to sit down with Cynthia and to have an actual save, because that doesn't happen that often.
And so you guys mentioned your training, how you go through a bunch of things to be prepared, and obviously this is probably something you don't necessarily train for with water. Explain to me, just like, I know you kind of already explained the training, but what kind of things led to this, and how are you guys able to make that all come together?
We train all the time. We drill during the summertime. We drill twice a month. Now that it's gotten colder, we drill once a week. And we actually, you know, maybe not water so much, but we do drill in a lot of weird things. You know, we do extrication, and we have a dummy that we trap in cars and we put in weird places to try and be more prepared for that irregular call.
Right. Yeah, confined spaces and things along that line. You know, things that you don't normally think about. You know, we try to prepare ourselves for everything that is a possibility.
You know, and everybody here's got plenty of experience, and you asked earlier about the emotions of going through that. You know, I get emotional because we don't see this every day, because she's sitting here with us and talking with us. We don't see that very often. In the moment, that's what makes every one of these guys good firefighters, is because in the moment we don't get emotional. We don't think about, oh, that's somebody's grandma, or that could be our sister or something. Our focus is get them out and do what we have trained and drilled and done our whole careers to try and save this person. We try and save every single person we come upon. Doesn't always end up that way, but we save the emotions for later when we're here at the station and talking with each other. But in the moment, a lot of times there's not a lot of emotion. We're really focused on the task at hand. Is let's get them out. Let's start CPR. Like Nate and Carl were doing, that's what makes them good firefighters. Is on the way there, they weren't talking about whose turn is it to make coffee. They was talking about, okay, what are we going to do? If this is what's going on, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to see, type deals. You know, when I pulled up, it says somebody in there. I've been on multiple wrecks when it's upside down or on its side. Run over there and there's somebody standing there looking at you and just needs help getting out. Wasn't the case that morning, so I had to jump in. You know, you just go through those scenarios. Our training just kicks in. That's why we do it. You know, like football or basketball, you play how you practice. We try and practice, and we go through all these scenarios in our heads of how can we help this person. Because there's somebody on the sidelines, husband, that's hoping we are doing good training, and that we can save that person for them. So that's why we drill so much, is because you play how you practice. And this time it turned out well for all of us.
Yeah, definitely.
And so Cynthia, you get taken to the hospital. You're in, you have some recovery at the hospital. Yeah. Then you've been at home for a month and a half recovering as well.
Yeah, I escaped the hospital after 2 weeks. 1 week in ICU and 1 week on the hospital floor. And then I was ready to go see my babies, my grandbabies. And we had a family get together at my daughter's house, and I was so tired. And then we got to go home, and I was happy to be home. And I was really happy to meet Jimmy over here.
And so tell me a little bit about that reunion. What it was like to meet Jimmy and some of these other men that saved your life?
I sat by my window, and I waited for him to come, and I told my daughters, he's here, he's here, he's here. And I ran out the door and gave him the biggest hug, and I didn't want to let go. He says he's not a hero, but he's the biggest hero in the world to me. All you guys are.
What was your reaction as you're hearing family or the news talk about this story unravel? What's your reaction to it all?
My reaction was pinch yourself, because I don't know if I'm really alive.
Do you remember anything from that day, or does any of the memories come back, or is it just all a blur?
It's the only things that I have is what people tell me, pictures, videos. There was a video taken in the hospital of me walking the hall, and I had seen the lady that had given me, the nurse that had given me respiratory treatment. And I told her that I didn't want to die. She's like, no, you're not going to die. I do remember my husband telling me, move your toes, move your fingers, move your feet, move your hands. Whatever you can move, just move it to make sure that I didn't have any brain injuries.
And so as what I hear is that you're making a full recovery. How does it feel that you went through this traumatic experience and you're doing so well?
Awesome. I feel awesome. I wake up every morning saying, okay, world, here I come.
Chief, I know you had mentioned during city council that these, and Mark, you mentioned it tonight too, that these type of events happen, but they usually don't have a happy ending. Expand on what you meant by that and why you felt this outcome did have a happy ending.
Well, as Nate said, the crew trains for whatever kind of crazy, unpredictable scenario they can. And sitting here next to Cynthia is over 75 years, I don't know the exact number, of firefighters training constantly. Dedicated training while they're here, training on weekly drill nights, studying, preparing. 75, maybe 80 years worth of experience sitting here, so that on that moment they were ready to do exactly the right thing. And sometimes we can't get there fast enough. In this case, Jimmy gave us a head start, and then the rest of the crew was there. And then Josh, who's missing today, gave us a head start to get our patient out fast enough. That we don't always have that opportunity. And then the rest of the team knew exactly what to do. They were ready, and were able to have that good outcome.
My girls did say that all the stars lined up that morning, and I have to agree.
Yeah, did you guys ever rethink that morning of if I would have been 5 minutes out the door, or if I would have had something come up? Do you guys ever relive that day?
I don't live in what ifs, ever. I really don't. You can make yourself crazy thinking about what ifs.
You can.
I don't believe in what ifs, but I when I was interviewed by the news, I said it and I'll say it again because I fully believe it, that God puts us in certain places at certain times.
He does.
Normally when I go to work, I fill up with fuel or gas the night before, and I'd forgotten that night, so I stopped and got gas. Had I not, I would have been passed and wouldn't even known about it. So there's some stars aligned, like her daughter said, to make this all happen. But there was some stars aligned, but these are some of the stars that aligned.
Yeah.
These guys all sitting here, they're part of the stars that aligned.
You're my stars.
And so, Jimmy, I know you get a lot of the praise and people have called you a hero. In reality, you're all heroes. Like, what does that feel like to have that status and know that you get to see her? Because you don't always get to meet the person you saved either. The fact that you get to have these interactions with Cynthia.
Yeah, I'm the anti-hero. I don't need that. But this is what it's all about. Is that you can save somebody, and then this is so cool that we get to. And me and Cynthia have built a good relationship, a fun relationship because of it. You know, when you're going on a wreck, you don't think, my best friend's coming up down the street here, you know. But it's kind of that way. We've built a really cool relationship because we was able to, the outcome that we did get and that she did get, you know. It's fun in that aspect, really cool, because like I say, don't always get that chance. Or training, like Chief says, sometimes we just don't make it there in time. This time we did, and wahoo, look at the outcome.
We normally don't get to follow up.
No.
Yeah.
Usually we drop a patient off at the hospital, and we're done at that point. You know, good, bad, indifferent. We never know what their outcome is or anything, so it's neat to be able to see this.
Have this opportunity to actually physically be involved.
And so, Cynthia, tell me a little bit about how that worked out. Was it your family? Did you want to meet him? How did it work out that you could have these interactions?
I think I told my husband right after I had woke up I want to meet my hero. And that I wanted to go home.
How it feels to know you have these heroes who saved your life. And with Thanksgiving coming up, does it just make you feel a little more grateful for life?
Oh, I am so grateful to these guys. I am so grateful. It's unbelievable how grateful I am for them.
And then Chief, you've only been here a few months. How does it feel to have such an awesome team now that you have got good guys behind you?
Well, it's really rewarding to be, as the new chief, it's really rewarding to be a part of this team for a lot of reasons. And this is just a good example of the type of thing that these individuals, the men and women that work for Tremonton Fire are committed to be ready all the time and to make sacrifices in their personal life, so they're here training, so they're covering shifts, because there's a lot of Cynthias out there who need us, and we need to be ready for the next one and the next one and the next one, and that's what they're committed to do, and it's really rewarding for me to be a part of it.
And then Cynthia, so you were coming for the cereal cell.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you ended up getting cereal from Post. Tell me a little bit about how that went down.
When I was in ICU, they had delivered, I think, 100 boxes and bags to my daughter and my grandchildren. So we went through the process of splitting it all up, and all of the grandkids got cereal. And so I don't have to worry.
Got all the cereal they wanted, huh?
So yeah, you might have enough cereal that you wouldn't even have to worry about it but next year. But do you think you'll come to the cereal cell again?
No, I think I'll go to the store.
Okay, guys, is there anything that we missed?
Well, I'd like to say it was a group effort between, law enforcement, us, Jimmy, Josh, everybody that was there. It's just not all of us. A lot of times law enforcement's there first, and they're starting to, trying to get stuff taken care of. Then they let us jump in, and they take care of their own needs that they have to have, on their end.
The dispatchers?
But the dispatchers, yeah. It's a big deal, we're just a small part of the cog in that wheel.
Yeah, I echo what you say, Mark. Everybody keeps calling me the hero, and but I couldn't have done it by myself. It took a team of us to accomplish what we did, and to have Cynthia here with us today. It was a team effort.
And I'd have to say that you're all my heroes. I thought it was just him, but when he told me that it was a team effort, all of you were my heroes.
My patient care was much better because I wasn't hypothermic.
I took care of that for you.
Yeah, he wasn't shivering too badly.
And that's probably another reason my life was saved, was
Yes.
being hypothermic.
That.
Okay, anything else? Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Business Spotlight segment of Talk of the Town is made possible by supportive sponsors who allow Bear River Live to feature community stories and all the good that is happening every day in our county.
My name's Denise Merritt. I grew up in the Valley. This is a first-time business. I felt like I needed to venture out and find something. My kids are getting older, and I thought it was a good time to just find me again. I kind of stumbled across it and just thought, why not? Let's give it a go. Let's try it out. I buy a lot of overstocks, end-of-season stuff, and online returns. We sift through everything, I guess, and we find all of the new products. Everything in the store is new. We donate or get rid of all of the used items that come through. Over the last year, it's been almost a year since we've been open, we found this spot and I fell in love with it. And when I originally told the owners that I wanted this space, they told me they were going to separate it and kind of cut it in half. The other side was going to be kind of a separate little unit for someone else. And I was disappointed because I knew I wanted a little bit more space, but we made it work. It was good. And within about 6 months, we were able to open the other side up. So we've expanded just a little bit. Business has grown. It's done well. Our numbers have continued to go up. So I'm happy with that. We hope to continue to grow and be able to serve the community. It's been fun. We've loved doing it, but we are bursting at the seams in here. We need a little bit bigger space. So we're hoping to be able to grow and find something a little bit bigger. We buy a lot of overstocks and end of season things. Some online returns. I know our name is once returned. Not everything in the store is returned. Everything on the floor is new. We sift through and make sure we have only new things on the floor. We have a variety of everything. It's kind of like a Kohl's or a TJ Maxx. We have clothing, men's, women's, and children, shoes, toys, home decor, small furniture, a little bit of everything. So we get inventory weekly, and I have a vague idea of what inventory is coming, but a lot of it I don't even know what it is or what it's going to be. So yeah, it's fun for us. Every week we sift through everything and see all these fun treasures that come through. And it is. We have our regulars that come in weekly. They want to see what the weekly find is. And it is. It's kind of a treasure hunt. Just never know what you're going to find. We're going to do a big Black Friday sale. We're going to have most everything in the store will be heavily discounted. And then each day we're going to do it a week-long sale, I guess. Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Saturday. We'll be closed Thursday and Friday. But we'll have highlighted, like one day clothing and shoes will be 50% off, and we'll have appliances 50% off one day. But we'll have a bunch of great deals in the store. We're also going to do a giveaway, and these are the giveaways we're going to do. We're going to do a $200 vacuum, a $50 little, I guess it's probably about $100 retail little gift basket idea, and then another $50 one. I think it's important to support local. There's just no shopping in town, and it's sad to see all these little businesses that keep going out. I think if we can all get on board and support local and shop local, I think it'll help build unity in our community.
As always, the annual turkey trot was a success and helped raise food for the pantry. There's still time to get a fresh turkey at the county turkey auction. Bear River High School's Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Pizza Plus. Congrats to these athletes for their efforts on and off the field.
Where's my other two? Oh, I'm missing a cup.
It's right there.
Where?
It's on the bottom.
No, that's mine.
That's it. It's right there.
That's so off. Dude, what happened to my cups? I'm missing one. Good. I'm missing one. There's not two. Go!
Get in there, Ritter. Ritter, I know you can do it. Ritter, Ryan with your Jays. Go on, Ritter.
We're missing a cup.
Jays. It's on the bottom.
Wait, I thought we had to take it down.
Jason took mine.
Jason had two. He cheated. What? Don't fumble, dude. Remember that time?
Hey!
I have an extra one.
Give me my cup.
for the win. Hey! Nice shot, too. Wait, what? You said go. Oh. Too bad you can't shoot.
Oh no. Oh. All that. To drop my own cups.
Oh, this might be bad. Where's mine? It's right there. Oh. That was so cool. Oh! Owen's gonna end it quick. Bang!
Flawless too, right? $10 gift card. Thank you. Yep, you bet. Thanks. Start off by telling us about your team this year.
We got a good group, got a lot of guys coming back. A lot of experience, high energy. I feel really good about the first just over a week of practice. We got really good underclass guys as well, so I think we're going to have 4 levels, freshman to varsity, of really good basketball this year.
And so you had 1 senior last year. You're looking at 8 this year. Tell me a little bit about that dynamic.
Yeah, it's much different. Last year you had 1 senior, and so you tend to hold on to more juniors at that point to kind of fill in some spots and stuff. And then when you get them as seniors, sometimes it can be tough. But we got 8 really, really good seniors that are willing to take on different roles and do different things and understand where they fit into this team. And excellent group of kids. They love each other. They love playing together. And generally, you're probably not keeping 8 seniors. But when you watch these kids on the floor together, in the locker room together, how they get along, how they play together, how much they love and enjoy playing basketball, I think that keeping 8 seniors gives us the best chance to compete at the high level this year. So this is the most experienced team I've ever had. I mean, you get Kyver and Garrick back. This will be their 3rd year starting, and they're virtually their 4th year playing varsity basketball. And and then guys like Jason Owen also got some time as sophomores, and then started last year. Ritter started some games last year. You got virtually 6 guys coming back that have started varsity games before, and then you add in Mason Sorensen, who has just had an unbelievable summer, and he's going to start a lot of games for us this year. He's going to get a lot of opportunities to do some things for us as kind of a 7th guy. And then, you add in Brody Miller in there, who is just one of the best human beings that I know, and he brings a lot to this program, and he's going to get opportunities to help us win as well. And so, you got 8 guys. I haven't had an experienced team like this anywhere I've been, and it's fun the first week of practice because you feel like you're you're 5-6 weeks at least ahead of where you usually are, and so we're doing things right now that you usually do mid-season, and we're 1 week into practice, and we're already that far along, and Scott's pretty excited.
And so obviously, we have tough region. How do you think your boys are going to compete in region, and what will be some of the fun games to watch for?
Yeah, no, our region once again isn't going to disappoint, and the fun thing about our region this year is you could be the third best team in the state and take third in our region. Our region is that good, and I mean you could say as far down as 5-6 teams. It's going to be about as competitive as it has ever been, and that's hard to say because it's always competitive, but you look top to bottom, there is not a bad team here, and in fact I would dare say that around the state you probably have 6 of the top 12 teams in this region. And so, you're going to have to go out and fight every single night. I think that we got a team that should be right there at the top when it's all said and done. Skyview's going to be tough. They lost a lot last year, but they still bring back a really good program. Ridgeline brings a lot back. They got some shooters. They got a really good big guy. Logan brings back a couple good guys, and I think Green Canyon is sneaky good this year. You got to keep your eye out on Green Canyon. Everyone on that team can shoot the basketball, and then Mountain Crest is going to be really good this year. Bring back the Hess kid. They got some really crafty guards. Everyone is well coached. They run good stuff. I don't know to point out, hey, like, this would be a game to watch for. This region this year in particular, you don't want to miss a game. Every game's going to come down to just one or two things here. Any break could make the difference in every game, and so you can't have any letdowns this year. And we're hoping through preseason we can prepare for that.
And then you guys have a new foul rule. How do you think that's going to affect the play?
Yeah, I think it's going to have a pretty big impact, really. And so this year, each quarter after 5 fouls, you just go right to double bonus. So no 1-on-1 anymore. No 7 fouls, 10 fouls. They're not doing that. So 5 fouls every quarter, double bonus. It's going to be an interesting dynamic, and I think as a coach, you got to really encourage your guys, especially in a game that you mix in the shot clock, which started last year, but you got to encourage your guys, especially in a tight game that you're maybe fell behind in, to be really aggressive, because you could create a lot of opportunities from the line this year by being really, really aggressive on offense. It can be a fun year. We got a good mix of kids. You're going to see a lot of those seniors on the floor, but we got a couple underclassmen that have looked really, really good as well, and so you might see some new names this year kind of mixed in there. I get out. We first home game November 28th. Actually, November 30th. We're at Bonneville, the first game. That's the Winter Classic on the 30th. Get out. You're going to see a fast brand of basketball this year, and we got some athletes. We're going to do some things this year that are going to be really exciting, really fun to watch, and so we always have good support from the community, and I can't wait to get going.
Next, we move into full Christmas mode with a feature on Kent's Market and Tremonton's light display. We also talk to the Bear River cast of Clue. That's all next week.